All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get going here today about our 1 Million Cups Wednesday presentation. My name is Leif. I am the chat host. No, I am the host today for 1 Million Cups. My name rhymes with safe, in case you forget that. We are here to drink coffee and talk about business ideas and share things and generally have a great, exciting, igniting morning for Wednesday, which is why I'm here. I want to get excited and jump for the rest of my day and do so even today when I only have water and no coffee. So if you do not already follow us, the best thing you can do is check out our bookmark for a link tree. It's kind of just got like what places you can click to get subscribed to things and get the emails in case you forget to come because you might get wrapped up Wednesday and the next Wednesday you kind of get wrapped up and then you're like, oh yeah, 1 million cups. I need to go make that happen. So here it is, link tree right on there. And that's going to be in the chat too. So you don't have to like write down an HTTPS like it's 2005. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Well, we're here to share ideas and specifically business ideas, offering help and asking for it as well, and to hopefully build community and support each other. That is what I feel. So I feel supported every time I've presented here, and I hope you do the same too when you present. This group is actually quite different than a lot of other groups I've been to that are business focused. We're not here to like really focus on pitching. We're here to focus on presentations among like-minded people. We're not like dressing up in our finest clothes and trying to hand out all the business cards we possibly can. We're just kind of like, oh, come in your t-shirt and say hi and tell us about your thoughts on, you know, if this is going to resonate with a customer or whatever it might be. And the other big thing is we're not really hosted by any major corporation. We are just hosted by the Kauffman Foundation, and all they really do as a nonprofit is provide us like the color orange and maybe some t-shirts. So it's just us volunteers here in Seattle, like making it happen. And our goal is also to be very inclusive. So people that think they might not be entrepreneurs or business people, we want to kind of like change that mold in their head and say like, actually, you might be. You should try it on and sit in on these conversations. So if you hear people in your family groups, friend groups that are like thinking they have like ideas and things like that, bring them over. They'll get a lot out of this, I think. Just a context here, 1 Million Cups is a thing that's national, so it's across the country. There's 3,500 attendees, usually lots of volunteers, lots of communities. So if you're traveling around or want to do Zoom presentations elsewhere, like, hey, I want to see what the West Coast thinks of my business, East Coast thinks of my business, Middle Coast. That's what David's doing. He's been to a couple different presentations, so I'm sure he's gotten great feedback from different communities and hearing kind of how the rest of the country thinks about his product. So we get to give him the Seattle touch today. We are here. If you can't remember what we're doing, it's just 3 things. If it fits these 3 things, it's probably something we'll probably do. So education, presentations, connections. Those are our 3 pillars that hold up the 1 Million Cups stool. Terrible word, but it's still there. So do we want with it? And this is what we looked like when we were in person. Mixed feelings about that. I think we love the online too, because you don't have to like, you know, put pants on. But this was also our space in Seattle, West Lake Union. So that was cool to see what we were doing back then. But yeah, thousands of people presented before. I presented. I think a lot of people here presented their business before. It's just a cool place to talk about it. And then we do have some sponsors that make this happen, since we're just like here being volunteers. So McLaughlin Method, Human Up, and Small Studio host some of our services. Things aren't always free, unfortunately, because those services themselves used to be small businesses and they need money to survive. And we have a litany of volunteers, of which I am super grateful for. My friends up here, as you can see, and most of them are here on this meeting, those who are not busy running their businesses today. So big appreciation to all of them putting in the time to make this happen. So what can we expect today? Well, we're going to have coffee if you have it, or if you're more of a Diet Coke connoisseur or a tea connoisseur, that is your speed. Coffee and conversation. 6-minute entrepreneur presentation, which sometimes bleeds a little long, and then a 20-minute Q&A is our plan. After that's all done, we're going to do some breakout room connecting afterwards, which is kind of like to simulate the one-on-one, one-on-two little conversations that we have afterward. So that's the game plan for today. So without too much further ado, I'm going to actually go to the next slide, which is basically say, hey, pay attention. We're all here to be very focused on this, and we want to make sure we give David some really good ideas. If you might not feel like you have an idea or like a question, still practice writing it down. I find that even I am not really confident with my ideas or questions, but I'll still write it down to kind of practice it. And then as the discussion gets more mature, maybe I'll like decide to throw it in or expand on it. So just a thought to keep in mind. And then we'll talk a bit more about Q&A in a little bit. So let's now, without further ado, we can bring David to the stage. So David is here with Do You Have? You can even see he has a cool shirt, not a shirt, that's a hat. Oh, a shirt and a hat. Very cool. So David's gonna come to the stage and tell us about his company and where he's at. And I'll give it over to you, David.
So I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, get that screen shared and I'll shut up.
Guys, see my cursor?
Yes, it's
awesome.
cursing nicely.
All right. Do you have really digitizing buyers in $1 trillion marketplace? Think anything secondhand. You know, we truly believe that we live in a world where we just like things of more convenience, right? Hence Amazon. Just people are liking things digitally and fast. I guess they don't care so much for digitally, but if it's fast and quick for them. So in the secondhand marketplace, we see a lot of desperate attempts of buyers putting out on social media, even on pieces of paper, and putting them on people's mailboxes saying, hey, where can I find this? I mean, we've all heard a neighbor or a friend ask, hey, where'd you get that? Or where can I get this? It's mostly goes in the collector world, but not always. When you talk about something secondhand, sometimes it's not easy to find something where they got it, and it's unique and it attracts people. So we have done a study where we found over 300,000 actual separate items from individuals saying, hey, do you have this item, which is in the form of ISO, an acronym that is in search of, WTB, which we've seen the acronym used for want to buy. And then we all know the kind of the old school saying finder's fee, right? Hey man, I'll give you some money if you just find me this. So all tiers of this in search of is low class, middle class, enthusiast, hobbyist, some that don't have, you know, all the means. And then obviously you have the super rich that, you know, just want it, you know, where can I find it? I just want it. And so after seeing that and also having the same problem as I'm a thrifter and a collector. Oh, I was supposed to go through this side. Sorry. Here's some examples. You know, you have down here, and hopefully you guys can see my cursor. Richard Rawlings from Gas Monkey Garage on Discovery Channel, right? Had a couple seasons, gets paid $50,000 an episode. Has a pretty good net worth. Uses his Instagram to try to find a Honda CL 100. You know, hey everybody, I'm on a mission today to find a CL 500 or 100, and he continuously posts these things because, you know, you would say, hey, how come we just don't get on eBay? Well, people have many means to try to just get across any kind of major platform to people to say, hey, where can I find this? And so here are some of the examples of the 300,000 that we saw, and that 300,000 was documented at one time, not over, you know, a whole year. It was actually at one given time, 300, and that's the only ones we could find, right? Here are some examples, and exactly what I mean. You have some upper class people say asking for these things and collecting items. You have just random people maybe remodeling a house looking for these antique wood doors that you would think is, I mean, you know, I'm a fan of thrifting, so I'm not going to really say it, but you would think that someone might say that's just garbage, but just throw it away. And it's someone else's treasure. It really is. So just across the nation, you have so many enthusiasts, hobbyists, hoarders, collectors, whatever you want to call it, really looking for these items. And those are the examples. So when it comes down to the problem, I think it comes down, hey, why not eBay, right? Why not just go to these marketplaces? We have these stores, just use them, right? If you're looking for something, just go to them. Well, here's the thing. Not every seller posts something for sale. For example, who knows how many garages are out there or estates or example of items that people would probably love to buy, but no one takes the individual time to post them on eBay. Or the fact that eBay takes such a high commission that you have to list each item for a little bit more to make it worth to go to the post office and ship it, etc., and all that stuff. So it does take time to itemize these and post it on a platform for sale. So A, not everyone posts things for sale that they're actually willing to sell. B, buyers, for buyers, there's so many platforms to go to. So if you're thinking fashion, now you have Depop. If you're thinking kind of old school and you want a real bargain and you're kind of like, you're okay with meeting someone in the back alley with a pocket knife and cash, you go to Craigslist. You have the real, you have OfferUp, 5 Miles, Facebook Marketplace. Well, maybe you're not a Facebook user. Well, then you use OfferUp. I mean, there's so many platforms out there. It's really hard. And if you're in a niche of something, sometimes you don't even know. I've been thrifting my whole life, and I didn't realize that there is a market just for manual transmission cars. There's actually, and they actually have like millions of postings. So now I'm missing out on the opportunity if they don't post on the stores that I like, that there's this whole group actually dedicated to maybe a car that I like. So really, there's just so many. And I really think that a buyer would like a consolidated platform. That is a desire. The third, no one knows what you're looking for and how they can help you. It's amazing when we get on a commerce site that the social commerce sites are so successful because they have other people that they don't even know each other that will just help you out. Hey, I saw that you're looking for this. Actually, you go to that store. Hey, Jim, actually, you should actually look for this instead of this because this product is bad. The social commerce world is taking over because people actually, I hope it's innately that we want to help each other. I mean, and if you know the answer, you usually want to just say, hey, I know where you get that. So my solution was to build an application where someone would physically one time post on a website and say, hey guys, I'm looking for this. Here's my zip code. Here's my budget. Here's a little description, one picture. And it lets others people see, hey, oh, this person's looking for that. I know where to get that. Here's this. Oh, my buddy owns a shop. All those feedback and social commerce things that we see on Facebook groups where it's held locally or a niche hobbyist enthusiast forums. All these things we want to incorporate into our one platform. And the thing is that once you post once, not only can your peers and people who might have it in your local area connect with you, but also our team assist you and say, hey, we saw that you post this. We're going to do a search on our end with the platforms that we know since we're consultants, we're professionals in this market, and we're going to send you some ideas. Maybe your pricing's off. Maybe, you're actually way high. These things only go for, actually $5 and that thing is actually not genuine, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we are consultants to help you and also aid in sending you links from multiple platforms that are verified and also, low risk, non-scam things. There's a lot of things on the secondhand marketplace that people just don't know and they shouldn't experience just because they want to use it for the first time. So this is what the layout looks like. And we are live right now. We call it phase 1. It's really an MVP. And it's just 3 easy steps. If you're a buyer, you're simply posting what you're looking for, and you put in your zip code, a picture, and a description, and then simply you just wait for others to connect with you. People just get on the website and they say, oh, I see this, and they can connect with you, searching your zip code, etc. And an option for, do you have teams to assist you? Hey, you still can't find anything? Here's an option to pay $3. We're going to help you, and we're going to give you 5 verified listings live that are in your budget and exactly what you wanted. And then you just simply do what you want. If you like to just browse and know what's out there, browse it. If you want to execute it and go to that website and make it happen, you can do it. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. So what does it look like when someone gets back to you? Well, here's a real example. Someone posted that a gentleman, I think in the southern part of Texas, posted that he was looking for his childhood memory antique clock. It's a motion clock made by Dr. Pepper in the 70s. So he posts and then he receives this. Review what people have to offer. So now he's posted that he got $100 budget and he's looking for a Dr. Pepper motion clock. That's all he wanted. And now he says, wow, he has these options. Here's 6 miles away, 32 miles away, 225 miles away, 808 miles away. And this is what our future layout's going to be. Wow, I like this one. This one looks nice, good conditioning, functioning and working, and it's 32 miles away. I want that. You just connect and buy just like that. It is bringing you deals to you of whatever you wanted in a more specific and unique niche. So a lot of people get on me about, the money part. Not, I mean, I'm a financial guy. I pretty much have a minor in business and a major in engineering, but um, I think it's too soon for us. I always want to grow the company, but how do we make money, right? And that's simply our platform is free to post and connect with peers. But if you really need that extra help, Do You Have Team is here for $3. We do the search on all of our platforms, meaning there's actually 152 platforms in the secondhand marketplace just in our nation, and we'll send you that. If you're looking for Jordan, Nike shoes, retro, red and white, we're going to send you some Depop listings, but also listings that we've seen off across Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Letgo, 5 miles, all those where we see that it matches your budget and what's close to you. So that's just $3. And then obviously B2B, if there's a local vendor that likes thrifting and has those shops close to your zip code, they're going to want to send you things. And so they're going to work with us, be a part of that, and be a part of the 5, 6 listings that we want to send you. And that goes by impression or, hey, if they clicked on the link. And so that fee varies, but that could be a cash flow revenue stream about a 1 million per year. We estimate 4,200 partners because there's 420 cities listed in Craigslist. Those are the major cities that have good populations of buying and selling. And within those, we project 10 vendors per each city. So that's how we got that number for that. In Craigslist, each city is pretty populous. I mean, they've done a good job of collecting which city does most kind of buying and selling and thrifting segments. So we're thinking about an 8.5 revenue for a 3-year outlook. And just for comparison, that's based off 50 million listings and only a 5% execution rate on the B2C side. Letgo did 400 million listings in 4 years. So we want to let you guys know that this part is what our goal is compared to what Letgo did on this whole bar graph. It's a lateral bar graph, so I apologize for kind of the weird infographic. 400 million listings in 4 years. So we just want to do such a slight portion of that in 3 years. This is what it looks like when you try to post, right? What's your item name? Upload a picture. What's a category? Budget. And just write a description. You're only allowed to post one picture, but we just need an idea, right? Sometimes it's hard when you just write a description, but it's a unique item. I've seen a listing on our website looking for a 1970 cookie jar lid that someone had broken and couldn't find. So we like a description. And this is kind of another way where our local vendors per each zip code, 10 of them could say, hey, I'm right down here and I want to be a part of your, when people post something, I want to let them know that I'm right here down the road. I'm a thrift store. So we might charge, click impressions to B2B users right here. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Cool. So here's some of our feedback. Men had mentioned found 2 items that he'd been waiting for some time on, right? Some people are aggressive on purchases, some people aren't. But so finally, find a good deal, look to them right down the road, and they make the trigger. And these are people who both are in the very thrift world and very not thrift world. Men didn't even know about Facebook Marketplace. He didn't know about any kind of secondhand marketplace. Never cared about buying something used unless it was maybe Goodwill. But that's more of a fun shopping experience. Just be thrifty. So that is our, that's what we like to see. People who never connected in that thrift world starting to connect. I'm probably way over time here, but this is my last
you got
slide.
a couple minutes over at this point. So
Okay.
so you can last couple slides.
Yeah. So our progress, we launched this year in January. After 4 months, 22,000 active users. Right now, we don't have the data because our Facebook pixels or Google Analytics kind of went haywire after our phase 2 being adjusted. But we are very happy to see these numbers, and I think it's a platform that people like to see. 22,000 active users with such a low budget in 4 months is pretty awesome. So this is the last slide. We want to change how buying and selling is made, and we want to eventually convert people who never shop secondhand to secondhand. It's easy. We'll send you links, and you can be the judge of looking and just seeing what you want to do with it. We simply just want that, and we'll go from there. It might be useful to you, and it might not. So we really think it's the future of secondhand buying, not even including environmental impacts. So that's all I got. And I apologize for time. Yeah, usually I talk faster, but slow morning today. But hopefully,
thanks, David.
Point across. Yeah, absolutely.
You hear my clapping, I'll clap for everyone else, and someone's also muted. It's been great to have you on here. We're going to quickly transition to the Q&A, and we'll get deeper into your questions with everyone. I'm sure people have. I know I sure have, and I'll wait my turn just like everyone else. So how this is going to work is I'm going to actually stop the screen share, and we'll be able to look at his information on the chat. So you'll see that information right on there. So let's see here. So how this works is just raise your hand when you are wanting to do that. You can do that let's see here. Give me 1 second. That's not what we want. Present. So you can raise your hand using the reactions tab, and we will get to those. Try to leave them like one breath questions, one breath answers. And if you have a second question, save that for another time in the queue. So we're going to jump into questions really quick and get to them. I just wanted to show this, and we're going to turn this off so we can see everyone's faces and go for it. So I've got Huba. Is that how you say it?
Huba, yeah, you got it. Leaf, and is it Leaf?
Yeah, Leif, Francis Leif.
Leif, hey Leif, sorry if I transgress the mechanics. I don't know exactly, how you work here, but I'm a consultant. I'm right now in the Pacific Northwest area, right, and business consultant, and I help startups as well to hone their message and whatever. Very good presentation, David. It's not about talking faster, please. Okay, it's about giving the right message, right? And I missed part of your presentation in the beginning. I love the idea that this is a search engine that leverages outside of Google. So, and it leverages the brains of people that may be out there, so you're doing kind of like a natural intelligence search engine, of people who can find stuff, right? And I love that. I would say it's hard to, for the person, I think you have a little bit of that for the person who is trying to, find something. How do they provide a picture if they don't have it, right? That's a problem that I don't understand how it would work. And, the two things that I would say is start with a niche. And the other thing that I see is because it will help you to grow in that space. And the second thing is consider not charging the amount up front, because I have seen many platforms where they provide leads, for example. They provide things and the leads just don't have the quality, but you had to pay for them. And it's just terrible for the user. So, if you can do something where it's almost like a click-through, where, if I like the leads that you're providing me and I want more information, so that's already a first filter, and I click through, then you charge me, okay? So that may be one thing. And the last thing that I want to say, if you want, a structure of your presentation that it's more compact and easy to follow, right? And you can make it without talking faster. Check out what Kawasaki has out there. He has a structure of 10 slides, and that's the investor slide. And it's always about traction is what you want to show. Your last slide is about traction. It's not as important that first piece that you showed, where you say, I'm only trying to reach 50 million. That sounds a lot like I just want 1% of this market, and that's easy to do. That's the story that every startup starts tries to sell. It's more about the traction that you're showing, okay? Which is great, by the way. All right, those are my things. I don't have any questions for you. Thank you, Leif, and thanks for allowing me to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, great feedback and great concerns. Yeah. I don't know how this works, but I'll go ahead and respond to that feedback wise. You're absolutely right. When someone's unique and they want something, how are they supposed to know kind of how to, take a picture of something they don't have? Right now, it is usually there's something similar like that on Google picture, images, right? You kind of say, man, I want this build. I want this 32 hot rod, but I want the convertible top. What I want in my vision, I can see on Google. I match it, upload the picture, and bam. Something of that reference of nature. And we do require a description as well, as much as we want just like a couple links to just post. We want to make sure that our end users, the people helping you get what you want, really knows what you're talking about, especially when we're talking about a unique world. It could be generic. It could be just like, hey, I want the retro Air Jordans version 1 red and black, but we need to accommodate those super enthusiasts that say, hey, I want the Pokemon R32, that's the authentic version, it has to have this model number on the bottom, so Great points. And starting with a niche, that's exactly what we're doing. We are subcategorizing our categories into hyper niches, which will actually include in sports cards, sports memorabilia, into baseball, into Pokemon, into wrestling cards, all those. And then we're having a lead person actually vouch for each one of those groups on Facebook groups and other social commerce forums for those and say, hey guys, it's not just a generic place where you say, hey, post what you're looking for, a Pokemon card, and the whole generic category of collectibles. They're not going to feel like that you made it for them. If they'll make it, they'll feel like you made it for them if you actually say there's an actual Pokemon category, and that's what we're going to do in each category. It goes down to motorcycles, old, modern, and in there Harley Davidsons, because I mean it's going to go into those hyper niches, and we're going to have those people who actually almost like a lead page owner really vouch for each one of those subcategories. So great points. I'll definitely check out the Kawasaki slides. That could be incredibly beneficial. And absolutely right about the leads. You know, we don't want to charge people up front without showing anything. We'll maybe give them one set, maybe 4 or 5 great matches, and we'll simply follow up with them a day later saying, hey, do you want more? Pay $3. You know, if not, we need to do something to make it better for them. So great points, and I really appreciate that.
Great, thanks, David. We're going to get to Eric's question and see who's next after that.
Hi, David. I loved it. That was great. It's really an interesting idea. I just want to know more about your team. How big are you? How many people you got? And you know, how long have you been at this? I didn't. You may have had that in the slide, but I didn't capture that. So.
Yeah, so we have about 5 people on the team, a lot of advisors that really aren't documented and are part of our cap table, but are here just for fun, really, and it's what they love to do, right? I mean, they're retired and they've successfully exited and they want to be a part of the community. And so we have had great people, a part of our community that has been with us since the idea started, which was in 2018. I've been thrifting my whole life, ever since I had a driver's license, really. And even before that, when I told my dad to go pick up some stuff I found on Craigslist. but but when it comes down to the idea, 2018, and it took really long for me to actually make something to fruition because I actually don't know anything about the tech world. You know, I didn't even know how to make a website. I looked on Google and they say PHP is the best. We actually didn't go that route. We went with React and MongoDB and Node.js, but I didn't know a thing. So I started really slow. It was really frustrating just to get a product out there. It took me 2 years, but finally, it's out there. And from when you have a platform to revise, that's where things really start making progress. And so just such a back and forth process. I'm glad I know it, but yeah, apologize for the team. We have about 5 people, a CFO, marketing content, and you know, myself, along with 2 personal relations that help people get the point across. You know, it's a very foreign thing, kind of like Uber saying, hey, get in a car when you're drunk with a stranger, right? You're like, what the heck? Well, so we have to buy our customers. We have to tell them, hey, I know this is weird, but you're actually posting what you're looking for, right? If you ever heard of ISO or WTB, it's for those. And so a lot of people kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So we know we have to do this for a little bit to get the point across, kind of just like Uber and Airbnb, you know, in those foreign situations. But yeah, I apologize for the not having a team slide. It's really hard to have a short, but you know, explanatory, you know, situation. I'll definitely try to incorporate that into there.
All right, I'm going to sneak with my question right now. Thanks, Eric. Which is, well, first of all, I am a lifelong Craigslist-er, and I have never thought to go armed to a Craigslist transaction, but maybe that was just my mileage. I've actually got a really good friend out of Craigslist, not the personal section. And my question I have is, so you have this demand-driven marketplace, right? So it's like, I want stuff, but the supply side that's supposed to match with it, in my mind, it sounds like those will be your hardest people to find, because they're people like my dad, honestly, people that have stuff from the 1950s in their garage that's just sitting there that they might sell to someone that really loves it, but he's never going to think to go check for websites like this. How are you going to be connecting to people like that? Or am I wrong about my assessment with supply?
No, you might be completely right. But what we've been seeing is that most likely someone that has all the stuff in the garage are a part of a community, whether it's a Facebook group, if you're older generation, that's local to them. Usually just they go to like a swap meet every year because they're into cars and they love collecting little car parts, or if they're into gaming or something like that, there's usually a group that they're part of. And that's one of our relations person. He goes and finds all these huge groups that you got to be a part of if you're an enthusiast or a collector or a hoarder. And they say, you got to check out this website. And so with that, we want to end up doing subscriptions to let people know, hey, per your zip code, check out these new listings that you actually signed up for, which is gaming and counseling in your zip code. You want to see whenever someone pops up a posting that relates to gaming counseling and in your zip code, you're going to see it. And it'll just be, reading something. And that's kind of the social commerce world. It's not so much that there's a plan to action that they have to execute some, but just check it out. Right? Hey, someone's looking. So that is our job to make sure that people know our presence. And that's definitely hard to put some campaign money. But after 2 years, we have experience with campaign money, and we got our cost per click down from 57 to 9 cents cost per click. At one time, 6 cents cost per click. So that is amazing metrics that is efficient for us. Better than a postcard. And I think keep on doing that.
Sure. Yeah, great. I'd love to ask more about that when it's my turn next for questions, but Lisa's next, followed by Stephanie.
Cool. Hi, good morning. I'm a wardrobe consultant, and I was just at an estate the other day, and I have now 8 boxes of vintage clothes to sell. And they're real, they're focused on this alligator purse, and they want to sell this vintage alligator purse and get the most for it. And so I was on some of these sites searching the other day to kind of get an idea of cost. Does your site help someone like me at all, who I've got these 8 boxes of niche stuff? Or is
Absolutely.
it more, it's for the person who's looking for it?
Well, it's, marketplace is both sides. So, if you have some stuff that you don't want, and necessarily you don't want to post it on eBay because you don't want to wait for each one purse to sell and go to the post office on each one of those 50 purses that you have in 3 boxes or whatnot. It's great when you see someone say, hey, I'm a collector of vintage purses, which we have someone on there right now, whether they're close to you or not. We don't know, but that's exactly why our B2C relations is strong, because we work with, and we're going to know, hey, there's 300 vendors out here in the nation, and actually 2 of them are close to you that actually specialize in vintage purses. They might just come by and say, look, I'll give you $400 for all of them. Just, out of the hair, and they're going to a good place, right? They're going to be, sold and into other enthusiasts. So absolutely, this is great for you to keep an eye out. And also, we're a team that when we see every post, we reach out and say, hey, guess what? This purse store is right next to you. They actually specialize in consignment and reselling. You might want to stop by. We are just helping people right now because we have the time. We don't have the traffic that we want. So as long as that balance is there, we're going to keep on just helping, just to help. Cool. So absolutely, I believe it works both sides, and think it'd be great for it.
Sorry, I was muted, of course. Thanks, Lisa. We got Stephanie next, followed by, looks like, Ryan.
There we go. Wonderful presentation, David. The more I keep looking at the site and having kind of a background, what you mentioned with PHP and Node and everything, it's interesting the choice you've gone. And based on your user base, the biggest thing I think that I really like about the site and what I think you should continue down that path is you've mentioned the type of demographic of customers you have. You also mentioned going out to all those groups, which it's true. I've been one of those ISO people who I'm looking for something very specific, as well as being some type of brand. And usually it's part of a collective group of everyone being an enthusiast. But with that, I will say the demographic you've mentioned, who's very much a collector in collectibles, tends to lean older, not always the case, depending on what type of collectible or, again, items. I mean, the whole stint I had with amiibos can say that for certain. But anyway, in regards to what's on there in terms of groups, the biggest thing I've seen from older users when it comes to those Facebook groups is it's overwhelming. There's this huge amount of buttons on Facebook. Again, I can look at my mom in that case, who really prides on, she's an enthusiast with like embroidery machines, and those are really expensive, and there's like a lot of parts, and there's a lot of different models over the years, and so on and so forth. And I don't mean like old ones, I mean like kind of not super antique ones, but more of like 10, 15 years where they're not like sergers and stuff that aren't built even they are now in like the last couple of years, like computers today. So looking at that, my biggest thing is I like how the site is simplistic, but I would, based on what I've been seeing and the type of demographic, is think of in the future for like, as you're going forward into developing more of your system, usability for users who are not used to a bunch of menus or a bunch of different, like, oh, let's add this category, let's group it by this, let's consider this, because that'd be very overwhelming in terms of just, oh, I don't know, I'm just looking for this, I don't know what category it falls under. And I think that you would have a much better niche in terms with those users, because looking at like OfferUp's model, as you've mentioned, the big grounding fact for them was the fact it was on mobile. It was an app. You could just literally pick up your phone, take a picture and post it. Kind of the same way for that is that these users are comfortable on desktop. They're comfortable in terms of what types, again, big pictures and buttons and like larger UX and a bigger design. And I think that's the type of just things moving to the forward, since you're already talking to those enthusiasts on Facebook and other platforms, is that you're basically going to be able to have a great demographic because you're taking them away from the overwhelming of options, keeping it simple, keeping it clean, something where they can go look very fast and very quick would be awesome. But love the idea, and
Thank you.
great presentation.
Yeah, great feedback. And obviously, yeah, it is a challenge to bring so much subcategories, but yeah, a simplistic design, especially when we're talking about mobile app. And you're absolutely right. It is tailored towards 60% male, 45 and above. Seems to be our really hit target audience, and we need to make a UAX good for them. So, and absolutely, you're absolutely right. Thank you for the feedback.
Thanks, Stephanie. We got Ryan followed by Eric. Actually, I think Eric said one, so maybe Tessa.
All right, thank you, David. Nice presentation. I love Craigslist. Been a Craigslister for a long time, so this sort of thing is right up my alley. Also never had to show up to any Craigslist transaction arc, but that's just me. I know that if I've been looking for something real specific on Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, whatever, for a while, I'll set up like a saved search, or there's other free services where I can set up alerts. Do you think there's any threat to your business model from someone setting up alerts across several of these platforms so they can just get the alert for free and bypass your fee model? Just wondering if there's any existing response to convince those people like me to not do that and instead go with your method. Thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, over COVID, we saw that happen with Facebook and OfferUp, and OfferUp kind of just watches what Facebook benchmarks and has it. And what it was is a feature was saying, hey, they can't find it, set up an alert. So I myself wanted to use it, and unfortunately, it didn't work for me in multiple situations. And I think the issue is that if you can't find it and you're searching on Facebook Marketplace, it's going to take time for Facebook Marketplace itself to have it. You know, Facebook Marketplace will not and will never try to find an eBay link. Unless eBay is going to pay them, you know, an OfferUp link and third-party link where they're not. Facebook monetizes by engagement. That's why they don't have a public database. And so they want you on the site, and it might take a while for them to find it, but also they actually don't have a picture. They don't have extra information that you might want to include of what you're looking for. So when you type in that you're looking for a 1990 Honda CRX, you get a Honda CRX muffler show up that says, hey, we found you something. And you're like, no, I want the car. So there's definitely could be improvement there. And I don't think it's a threat because there's always so much services that someone else needs in a secondhand marketplace coming to, hey, scams. We're starting to see scams on Facebook. So we'll do scams filtering out, buyer protections, you know, authenticity, you know, all those things. And, you know, I think a founder needs to be creative and pivoting and working with these things to help understand what people want. And Facebook is a benchmark for us. They obviously see the same thing that we see. People need help finding things. And the difference between us is that we'll always work with many third parties, OfferUp, 5 miles, all of them. Where I don't know if Facebook would ever do that because Facebook is solely, and OfferUp is solely purposed on engagement and wanting you to only use their marketplace itself, not other people's. They lose money if you just, you know, if they share the idea of, hey, go to eBay, you know, like, you know, so they really want to keep it in-house. And I think it was great for us to understand that, hey, the world needs this, and we've been having this idea and we're tackling it right now, but we're definitely monitoring it, and we definitely would love to work with it.
All right, thanks Ryan for the question. We've got Tessa followed by Eric, and maybe time for one more question. We'll see.
Thanks. So sorry, David, that I've been like running around like a crazy person. I've been listening intently, and my laptop just started to die and my breakfast burning. So anyway, thank you so much for sharing that. I freaking love it. I am kind of like dubbed myself the resident like sustainability and regenerative person, but so I love it for the aspect of finding what you like, something that you need that's not even necessarily collector's items. So that's one part of my there are two kind of pillars here that I'm wondering about. One on the customer side, which is, it seems like very collector oriented, which makes sense to me. It's niched and there's a massive demand for that. I get it. Is there a place for people who are like, I want a garden hose that looks like this, that's not sexy or special or whatever, but like is for, because I really want to get this fixed without, my problem fixed without having to buy from Amazon. And the other part is that a income stream option, business to business kind of vibe. Is there a place for, a lot of people are going for things, they're old, they might want to have them refurbished, they might want to have them fixed. You get your old clock, you actually want it to work. Is there a place for like, if it's tagged for, or thought about, like if it's tagged for this is a used item, or like it's the clock you want but it's broken, like not functional, whatever, that instead of like the thrift store nearby comes up, there are like verified people who fix and or refurbish these particular items, so that's another possible potential stream of income for you for click-throughs, and a very different like functionality that I don't think any other platform that you mentioned has.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a environmental impact agency called, I think, Dallas 360, the ones that stopped the Keystone Pipeline, or 360 org, had actually mentioned that if you had refurbishing businesses tied to this, it'd be huge, because people don't want to let go of that. They don't want to find a replacement for it. That's the whole point of being a collector. They want it fixed. And so absolutely, it's a potential for us to work with B2B clients and vendors that do like, just sandblasting and paint repair and paint restoration, or, a clock fixer that's reputable, that's local to you. So we have that data, and we'll go to the B2C side and say, hey, vendors, would you like this data? And you can just connect directly with them. Or, we could send you your leads to them, and we'll just do an impression cost. If they click on it, or if they want to go for it, we'll just take a cut out of it. So absolutely great point. It's really exciting. Always talking about the future. Sometimes I think way out there, and then I forget that, today my site crashed and I don't know how to fix it. So I've really focused on just, what's in 9 yards for me. But yeah, I'm so excited to eventually get to that point, and I'm really glad you like it. So awesome feedback, and aligns with many others.
Thanks, Tessa. Hope your breakfast is good. We've got Eric with a follow-up.
Yeah, so as you were talking, something came to my mind that if you're looking for people who are knowledgeable about any particular area, and who's got thrifting or who's got other things, oddly enough, the people who own storage units, they know these. The reason I know this is my father owned a storage unit for a while, and he always knew who he could call when there was such and such left inside the unit. So they might be a fantastic add-on to your, not to your site, but to your organization in any particular city. They could bring you, good information. So just a thought to go talk to those people. And sometimes they even have stores there on site where they're selling stuff. So just something to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually one of our keynotes is what personalities, if we had to put an ad out and looking for a team member for public relations, or a person that, if we don't have the AI bot to help send you links to what you're looking for, we have to do it manually. Who could do that? And part of that was, well, storage people know, like Storage Wars, they know a little bit about everything. They're not hyper focused on just one thing. They seem to be great about everything. So think about Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars. That's the person that we want from, just has a huge IQ of anything collectible, and could help any person when they post something, from cookie jar to a old supercharger on a Mustang. They'd be the person that could really say, hey, I know where you could get this part for you. Here's an actual dedicated website for this. Check them out. We're just consultants for you. So yeah, great situations. We're totally aligned with that.
All All right, thanks, Eric. Unfortunately, Hugo, we are hit our time to start closing up here, but you can send messages directly to David connecting. Kind of the point of 1 Million Cups is also is we don't get to all the questions. We want to kind of encourage connections afterwards. So please actually reach out to people afterwards. I think this is, continue the conversation is it's a great part of this. Or you might end up with a breakout room with him, get lucky, roll a dice, it's all random. But I appreciate the enthusiasm from everybody today. All right, so we're going to move on to the question for you, David, which is, what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Yes, the big question. So we are looking for people, like I mentioned in our situation, really people who understand thrifting, who really are aligned with environmental impact and wanting to shift this paradigm way of thinking about how you approach secondhand if you never have. Someone to really be a part of our team. So we're looking for team members. Also, I'm sending.
Nope, we lost you.
Was I on mute the whole time?
No, you just for a second ago you were.
Okay.
Looking for team members, blank.
Yeah, we're looking for team members, and we're also looking for advisors with equity. So I just sent a link. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that. I know Million Cups has a lot of outlining things, but a link to one of our positions that we have with equity that would be a part of this, company. We're looking for the help on even the technology side. I'm not a coder, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I have found out and wormed my way into understanding what we need, but I burned a lot of money and it wasn't the most efficient on setting up that structure, like Lambda, AWS, all that jazz. So we could use a little bit of every help. And especially we want to know that that person's passionate about this product and service and really aligned with the secondhand world. I'm happy to share that link with you guys. And if you guys know anybody interested, or if you're interested yourself, we're very welcome to consider adding team members. So we're in the growing phase, and we know we need help to grow even more.
All right, great. Thanks, David. Link is
in
the chat. Hit them up. I know there's a lot of ideas here. Last couple things today is we have opportunity for presentation. So if you've not presented before, if it's been a while, apply to present. It's very easy. You just have to have an idea, really. And applying doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be dropped in. We're going to talk to you first. So if you're on the fence, just throw it in and we'll chat with you. It's at 1millioncups.com/Seattle. Also, if you are interested in being an organizer, which is a really cool group of friends that do cool 1 Million Cup stuff here in Seattle, you can also shoot us an email. It's a great place to practice your business skills, pick up a new thing, and also give back to the community in Seattle. Here's the link tree one more time. That is going to be in the chat near the top two and kind of in the middle. I think it just got reposted right now. And just really quick, up next week, we've got VN Studios. Lisa's here actually with us today. So I'm excited to hear about that project. That's one that I've not heard of in a long time in our group, or maybe ever. So I always love hearing a new business model that I just have no knowledge about, because I learned so much. And that's one of my big benefits of 1 Million Cups, I think. So that is next week. We'll see y'all there. And then before we leave, breakout rooms, there's just a quick little chat, free pass to go when you need, chat about presentation, chat about your companies, your businesses, your ideas, whatever it is that you're looking to discuss. And if you have video, it'd be great to turn that on right now for this. Let me set those up real quick. Okay, so thanks everyone for being here. We will see you next week, and go ahead and jump in these rooms when they are ready for you.